Jaylen Brown's role after Jayson Tatum returns, Nikola Vucevic starting, and Payton Pritchard's future contract. It's bonus content here on the Locked On Celtics podcast. Got a mini mailbag for you. 3 segments, 3 questions, 3 answers. Thank you for making this show part of your daily routine. This is a bonus podcast. We normally Monday through Friday, half-hour shows, bonus podcasts when they play on weekends like the Friday night game. But then occasionally we're going to drop these podcasts here in the middle of the week too. Little something extra for you. Today's show is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. You can now have your cake and drink it too. No fork necessary. It's vanilla-y. It's cakey. It's got a caffeinated kick. No sugar. It's party time. Order now at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. If you're new to the show, if this is your first exposure to the show, I'm John Karalis. I'm a beat writer covering the Celtics for Celtics on SI. I've been covering this team for 20 years, doing this podcast for 10. Questions can be submitted at johnkaralis.com/mailbag. You can just submit those. I'm answering them here. I'm also answering them at Celtics on SI. So I have a new mailbag up there as well. So if you're wondering, have I answered your question? I have Chris T, Bob Q, Rohan P. I didn't put this name in there, but it's about Baylor Shireman's progress, and Tim D. Your questions are on Celtics on SI. Go read my answers there. But let's just start with the first question here. Again, it comes to johnkaralis.com. It's from Nick. With Jayson Tatum coming back, do you think Jaylen, misspelled Jaylen, will have to go back to his old role, or will Jayson be willing to adapt to Jaylen as the number one option? So I think it's going to be a little bit of both. It's going to be Jayson having to adapt his game to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen's going to have to adapt his game a little bit to Jayson Tatum coming back. There's a little bit of compromise that's going to happen on both ends because Jaylen has kind of proven to be a really good number one option, but obviously they need each other. And so I think Jayson is going to have to take like a little bit of a step, just a little bit of a step aside and let Jaylen handle a little bit more. You can run some of the same stuff, but you can run it through Jayson, through Jaylen as well as Jayson. So just a little something extra, just not stand aside, but just if you're running, 10 plays down the stretch and 9 of them or 8 of them were for Jayson, how about 6 or 7 of them were for Jayson? And now a couple extra are for Jaylen, just to start. And it's not even to say who takes the final shot. It's just more about who's starting the action, who is being guarded in what way. And some of it depends on who's being guarded by whom and all of that. So there's gonna have to be a little bit of give and take all over the place. Joe Mazzulla is gonna have to have a little bit more creativity when it comes to that. Jaylen's gonna have to understand this is Jayson Tatum. This is your all NBA, first team all NBA guy, but also Jaylen's gonna be a first team all NBA guy here as well. So Jayson's gonna have to just understand that there's just the dynamics have changed ever so slightly, and that's it. They're all smart people. They're all going to figure it out. They're all high IQ basketball players, and they all want to win. Above all else, winning is the most important thing, and they all understand that. Jayson, Jaylen, Joe, obviously, Brad Stevens, everybody understands that winning is the most important thing. And at this point, Jaylen's going to be 30 pretty soon. Jayson is going to be 28. They're going to they have a few years left to work together at the highest level. You have a choice. Do you put your individual stuff ahead of the team? Okay, if you want to do that, then you're probably going to cause some problems and the team is going to fail because of it. Are you going to put the team ahead of your whatever personal thing you have going on? Then perfect. Then by doing that, they're so good. Jaylen is so good. Jayson is so good. They're going to be able to figure it out. They have great teammates. They have great coaching. They have a great culture. Win another championship. Can you win 2 more championships? Let me tell you, there's no possible way Jaylen and Jayson can achieve more in this city on their own than with each other, winning another championship or maybe two. If they try to do their own individual stuff, they have the championship and they'll have their numbers, and that'll be it. But if they can put that stuff aside, which I expect them to do, they will potentially, if they can potentially win another championship or even two, they will be revered as Pantheon Celtics legends. They will be revered as two of the best players. They're already two of the best players to ever come through here, but they will be in a different sphere. You win two, you win three, you rise above the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen Celtics. If you can win two or three, you leapfrog a legendary crew. That's a bigger accomplishment than you can have doing anything on your own. So I expect them to already think this way, but if they don't, I would implore them, put any individual stuff aside. Whatever ego-based stuff you might have, either one of them, talk to everybody. Put the ego-based stuff aside, figure out how to best work with one another. And this is, a lot of this is on Joe and the staff and on Brad and on Bill Chisholm. Everybody's going to have to come together on this and be on the same page. Do that, win again, and just become gods in this city. Become gods. That's what's at stake. We'll come back. We'll talk about starting Nikola Vucevic and whether that's a good idea and how that might impact the defense. That's coming up next. Today's bonus podcast brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. It's the 5 Hour Energy flavored draft. There's 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like confetti craze, fruity, rainbow, cotton candy. There is something for everyone. I'm not big on things that are too sweet, but you got to have a little something. But here's the best part about 5 Hour Energy shots. They give you the boost with 0 sugar. So cotton candy, you want a delicious swirl of sugary clouds or fruity twists and a hint of vanilla. You got a throwback flavor boost there without any sugar guilt. Satisfy your sweet tooth. But that's not all. You can go a little bit, strawberry banana, a tropical delight, very low acidity, easy to drink, gentle, sweet aftertaste, but not really over the top. Or I'm going with this today. Here's my choice, my number one choice today on this bonus podcast, blue raspberry, because I want something not as sweet. It's sweet, but it's tangy. And it's a taste that nature couldn't quite make, but they're doing it. Blue raspberry, reminiscent of blue slushies or hard candy. It's a clean, sweet finish. You want some? You can go get some at 5hourenergy.com. That's 5, the number 5, hourenergy.com, or on Amazon. Today's show is also brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like being at an NBA arena. I know, because I'm there all the time. NBA arenas are awesome, and Game Time can get you those last-minute tickets to get into whichever NBA arena you want. You pull out the Game Time app, you pick an upcoming NBA game, and tickets are there within minutes. I've done this. I've done this for WNBA games. I've done this for baseball games. It's great. And you can see the all-in price up front, which is very cool. So what you see is what you pay. Also, what you see from your seat with their seat view feature makes it very easy. Yes, I like this view. I like this ticket. I like the view from this section. Use a zone deal. So you pick the section, they'll pick the seats. You can save a little extra money there. It's quick, it's intuitive, it's stress-free from start to finish. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. I don't get that because I've used this app a lot, but you can by using the code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. And remember, it's gametime.co on the web, gametime.co on the web, not .com. All right, let's get back to the bonus podcast here with another question that came into johnkaralis.com/mailbag. It's from Cal. You have frequently mentioned that you think Vucevic will be the eventual starter for the team and Queta will move to the bench. Can you explain why you aren't worried about the defensive drop-off from starting Vooch? Well, It's not that I'm not worried about the defensive drop off. I think it's made up for by the offensive uptick, and also the pairing is with Jayson Tatum, and Jayson Tatum is there to kind of pick up some of the defense. I know the question, I took this out of that particular version of the question, but there was an additionally Sam Hauser element to it. The Sam Hauser, I think Sam is still a good defender, but I understand. You got Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Sam Hauser, and Nikola Vucevic. It's not the biggest defensive kind of monster of a team, but Vuce does rebound. He gets in there and he rebounds. So that's going to be an important element to the defense. The Celtics are also defensively really, really protecting the paint. So I expect the defensive scheme to make up for a lot of that too. Tatum will be sucked in. Jaylen will be sucked in. They will be protecting the paint just in general. And with Tatum and Vooch there, plus Jaylen has been an improved rebounder. Hauser can get in there and grab a couple of boards. I think they can get in and clean up some of the misses. So it's not about the defensive drop off from Vooch, from Queta to Vucevic. I think it's more about giving Jayson and Jaylen the space that they need to drive and be face a little less traffic in the lane. I'm thinking of it more from an offensive standpoint and getting them to pile up a lot of points. By scoring, you're going to help your defense by going back and getting it into a set defense, and that just helps you defend better. With White at the point of attack, with Jaylen and Jayson there, they're both really good defenders. You can challenge enough shots. Sam can challenge shots. And if you're just forcing just enough misses, you can clear away the rebounds. I think that's going to be a decent rebounding lineup. I think that'll do nicely. I like the pairing of Queta with Payton Pritchard. I just like that pairing. And look, think about the defense and that second unit. If Pritchard is there and some of these other guys, now you have the potential for Baylor Shireman, or maybe Baylor is starting and Sam moves to the bench. Either way, Baylor, Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez with Queta, your second unit can be a strong defensive unit too. And I think it spreads it out well. I say all this not to be married to the idea of Vooch. I think Vooch as the starter makes sense because of what he opens up for the wings. If he stays on the bench and they keep Queta in the starting lineup, I'm not going to argue against that. I think that could work well too. And as Queta continues to handle the ball well at the top of the key and make some decent passes, I think it's feasible. It's very, very easy to see him working well as a starter with those guys. I just like Vooch better. It's not a knock on Queta or anything. I just like Vooch better in that situation. And just with Tatum and Brown, that level of experience, the passing, the ability to cut and find cutters, that I like that. But you could easily make that argument that, well, don't you want that with the second unit with lesser offensive players? Totally valid point too, guy in my head. That's how my brain works. As I'm talking, my brain's like, whoa. What about this? But so I'm like I said, I'm not married to the idea, but to answer the question directly, I think there are ways you can make up for it defensively where the defense is just good enough and it opens things up. And I will finish this answer by also adding, you do not have to finish with Vucevic. Just because you start him doesn't mean you have to finish with him. And just because you start him doesn't mean you have to play him 10 minutes. He could play 2 minutes. If all of a sudden you're like, oh God, this is bad, you can sub Queta in pretty quickly and change the sub pattern pretty quickly. So I think theoretically starting Vooch makes sense. And I know I'm saying this after some bad performances. I'm not not going to pretend that he didn't have bad performances. I think him being out there with these guys, that things will open up and it'll be good for him. But you can finish with Queta. You can finish with a defensive lineup that, you're up 10 with 3 minutes to go. Get Queta in there to finish the game. Jaylen and Jayson and all those, they can figure out how to score. They're mostly going to be isolating anyway at that point. And so Queta with his screen setting can open things up, and Queta in the dunker spot can, he's learned how to operate in there. So that helps a lot. So I'm open to a lot of these different things. So there's your answer there. Payton Pritchard's contract, that's coming up, actually, not too far down the road. What is he worth? We'll get to that answer next. Today's show is brought to you by Indeed. It's workplace chaos. We've seen it, especially in this blizzard. Places have shut down for a week, and you're like, oh God, I got deadlines. I got an inbox. I got a stack of resumes I need to get to. Don't hope that resume has that stack of resumes has the person you're looking for. Go to Indeed sponsored jobs, because they will help you reach the people who actually fit with what you're looking for, skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping for the right candidate. Here's a stat that tells everything. In the minute that I'm talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed across worldwide, according to Indeed data. If you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing the candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help you get the job, its premium status that it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Go to Indeed.com/podcast right now. Support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this show. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. All right, let's wrap up the bonus podcast here with the final question on Payton Pritchard's contract. And it comes from Daniel S. Pritchard is eligible for a contract extension this summer, starting at 140% of the non-taxpayer mid-level. That would begin in the 2028-29 season. Celtics can sign him for a max of roughly 5 years, $135 million, starting salary of roughly 23.3, and at 8% raises each year. Do you offer it as the Celtics? Does Payton take it? Where do you think they end up? Thank you, Daniel S., for that question. That is too much money for Payton Pritchard, I think. I just don't think that he's great. This is where I don't like the job that Brad Stevens is going to have to do, because you have to kind of cut guys down. All of the things that you don't do to kind of, this is why you shouldn't get $23.3 million. Well, who's making $23.3 million right now? Well, that's DeAndre Hunter. Jaden McDaniels is making that. Aaron Gordon is making close to that. Damian Lillard's making close to that. Jonathan Kuminga is making that, but he's not gonna. That's Dylan Brooks. Naz Reid's making a little less than that. Norm Powell. So it's kind of all over the place. It's hard to get a contractual kind of comp. DeMar DeRozan is making 24.5. Bridges almost 25. And you can say, well, Pritchard is kind of in that mix. I don't think that's where he lands. Is he a mid-level player? Maybe. I'll say that I'm not sure in this new CBA where a guy like Pritchard lands. He's in that middle ground of, should he make $20 million a year? That's a lot for his production. It really is a lot for his production, because as good as he can be, and as much as he has some really nice performances, the overall numbers don't support a major payday. 17 points per game this year, 14 last year, as the sixth man of the year. With Tatum back, he's going to be in that range, right? Mid to high teens. He's probably not going to be a 20-point per game guy. What is that worth in today's league? Is it going to be more than 20 million? I feel like those contracts will tend to settle between 15 and 20. I think my first offer would be the full mid-level. Pritchard is making 7.2 this year. He'll make 7.7 and then 8.3. And the full mid-level will be like 50. He'll be like doubling his salary. And the other thing to think about Pritchard is he's 28. And this is going to impact his offer. 28 years old now. So he'll be 29 and 30 in the next 2 years. His birthday, he just turned 28 at the end of January. So he'll turn 29 next year and 30 in that final year of his contract. Now, let me go back to the question here. 5 years, 135 million for a 30-year-old small guard, 6'1" guard, like right away, too many years. 135 million for that? No, not at his age, right? And people might think he's younger, but you got to remember he played 4 years in college and he had kind of like that rookie year where he didn't play. And it's been like, this is his sixth season in the league. It's been a while. I'm probably going to go 3 years, 45. And even that gets him to 33. Maybe you don't even offer him the extension this year. Maybe you let it play out and just kind of move forward. You want to reward him. You don't want to handcuff yourself. And I trust that he's durable and all of that. And he finds a way, and I think he keeps himself in good enough shape where he'll be effective into like 31, 32, 33. But these small guards, they fall off a cliff fast, and you just don't want to be committed to too much at that point. So I'm definitely not going into the 20 million range. I'm going 3 years, 45. Some in that range, to 45 to 50. And that rewards him a lot. He doubles his salary. And that's now, right? That's now. And I next year or the year after, you run the risk of it being a bad contract, or maybe you can benefit. I think that's something that both sides would take, and you kind of lock them up. And sure, that's where I'll go. You can't give a 30-something-year-old Payton Pritchard too much for too long. He's not going to play till he's 40. It's just not going to work. At some point, it's going to go away, and it'll be like sudden. It's going to be quick. So just tread carefully with that. There's your bonus podcast. 3 questions, 3 segments. I'll do this a little bit more often. I feel like this is a good way to go with bonus podcasts. Let me know in the comment section of the YouTube page if you like this format. When Tom hops on, Tom and I will like normally do our podcast, and then we'll just kind of like yap for a little something extra. So there'll be some bonus podcasts that way too. You're definitely getting bonus podcasts Friday night after the Brooklyn game. You'll get bonus podcasts throughout the week. So check it out. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. Watch the show on YouTube. Would love it now if you share the podcast and tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network, is your team every day.